pace of living leaves us little time for leisure. Our program will give you a chance to experience the fascinating world of traveling, extreme adventures, hunting and fishing. Each week, we will take you to the most beautiful places of Kazakhstan.
The Shaytankol Lake is considered to be the most mysterious lake of Karkaralı. People say that no one has ever seen its bottom. The lake is surrounded by steep cliffs and an almost impassable forest. The water in the lake is light blue. No one can tell its true origin, although there is an opinion that the lake lies in the crater of an extinct volcano. There are lots of legends about this lake. Today, we decided to see this mysterious and beautiful lake with our own eyes. If you want to reach this marvel of nature, you have to take a 1,200-kilometer drive from Almaty to Karkaralı to get to one of the most beautiful national parks in Kazakhstan. Whilst getting closer to Karkaralı, you get amazed by the rapid change in the landscape. High mountains covered by thick pine forests appear amidst the flatlands. The weather in this area changes rapidly, just like the beauty of its nature. Just 100 kilometers on the road before reaching Karkaralı, we managed to see several seasons of the year. The rain was changed by bright sun, then the clouds gathered together and it started snowing. Then it got foggy, and then the bright spring sun showed up again. The Karkaralı National Park lies as a mountainous forest oasis in the middle of the huge steppe area of Kazakhstan. 45 species of mammals and over 150 types of birds inhabit the national park. Already in the city, we find the National Park Administration Office, meet with the management, pay the state fee, and get the permit to enter the national park. Ruslan Tulipbayev, the director of the park, gives us advice to first see the city itself, since Karkaralı looks just like a museum. The Kunanbayevskinbayev Mosque is perhaps the biggest landmark in the small Karkaralı. It is one of the oldest Kazakh mosques in the country. Its construction started back in 1849, and in 1853 the mosque opened its doors for numerous followers. In addition to the architectural value, this landmark also has a high spiritual importance for all those who value Kazakh culture. The mosque was built by the father of the great Abai, Kunanbay Uskinbayev. In 1849, Kunanbay Uskinbayev was elected as the Aga Sultan of the Karkaralı district, head of the administrative and public life of Karkaralı and nearby tribes, and moved to stay to a small town of Karkaralı with his big family and assistants. Thus, as a child, Abai ended up here, which gave him lots of dear memories that he kept with him throughout his entire life. In the 80s, the Kunanbayev's mosque was completely renovated. Today, it belongs to its followers and is used for its intended purpose. A special place in the city is dedicated to museums. There are two of them here, the Natural Museum and the Local History Museum. Karkaralı is the oldest and forever young city in the Karaganda region. Its life is shown by the museum artifacts. Here you can see everything from balbals, the stone statues, and cave paintings, to contemporary items. Currently, the museum has 5,016 items, which includes 4,372 items of the main collection. These include historical documents about the establishment of the Karkaralı district, materials about famous people who were born here, archaeological materials, photos, photographic reproduction of historical portraits. Also, ethnographic and ornamental art items of the Kazakh people are exhibited here. And the Natural Museum is in the Karkaralinsk National Park in the Tasbulak Tract. The two-floor wooden house consists of the exhibition hall of flora and fauna of the Karkaralinsk area. One of the halls contains the miniature national park. There is a large fenced area around the museum where anyone can get to see the wild animals. Rural deer, fallow deer, yaks, and American bisons are kept here under semi-free conditions. Karkaralinsk is a true paradise. This area has a rich natural environment. After enjoying the attraction sites, we continue on towards the mountains. After several kilometers from the city, we entered the real pine tree forest.
Природа Каркаралинска удивительна. Казалось бы, только мы ехали по городу, буквально несколько километров, и мы
The
оказались...
nature of Karkaralinsk is amazing. We just were driving through the city, and after a few kilometers, we entered a real forest. This is a real mixed forest where pine trees are mixed with birch. The forest is very dense, and if you walk 200 meters deep into it, you can easily get lost. The Serpentine Road rushes past the trees. Little by little, we keep moving deeper into the forest. We cross a few small rivers and stop at a special area. There is no access by car transport any further. The employees of the national park made few rest areas in the forest for the tourists. The work that they did is clearly visible. There are signs set out and it's quite clean all around. The distance between the rest area and the lake is several kilometers. The mountains are already covered in snow and there is almost no way to reach the lake following the tourist path. The snow is very deep.
Немного пешей прогулки, и мы оказываемся уже в царстве зимы.
After a short walk, we enter the winter landscape. Of course, the mountains here are much lower than in Almaty, but a steep rise is a steep rise everywhere. It is difficult. The tourist route turns into an extreme route. We still move up very carefully. The rocks are slippery and there is a high chance of slipping. Up ahead, 100 meters in front of us, we caught a glimpse of a shadow. Right away, we remembered the stories of the locals about the spirits and the witches who protect the lake. We got a bit of a strange feeling, but once we got closer, we saw rabbit tracks. A brown hare lives here. It is much larger than the field hare and its tracks are bigger. We look at the snow and see that the hare population here is quite big. You can see the tracks everywhere. It's hard to see any large animals near the lake, but catching the sight of squirrels is much easier. Woodpecker is one of the birds that one can encounter most often here. It breaks the silence of the forest with its knocking sound.
Ну вот мы поднимаемся на знаменитое озеро Шайтанколь.
Well, we're moving up the famous Shaytankol lake that is high up in the Karkaralinsk mountains. In order to reach it, we have to climb up a deep gorge with pine trees and birch. And now we're getting to the very top of the gorge, where we have an amazing view of the lake itself. There are lots of legends about this lake. One of the legends tells us about two lovers, Sulushash and Altai. They fell in love with each other but could not be together because the girl was a daughter of a rich man and could not marry a poor guy. and they decided to run away together. Their friend Kaysar ran away with them. The young people reached the place called Sakal near Karkaralinsk. They stayed there and spent their time hunting and trapping birds. Once during a hunt, Altai fell off the top of the cliff and died. At that time, Sulushash was sitting near the Teskentas cave. Having heard the noise behind her, she turned around and saw a big tiger running towards her. Horror-stricken Sulushash started running but fell into the lake and drowned. Their friend Kaysar went to look for Sulushash and Altai, but only found the girl's skull cap in the water. Heartbroken, he decided there was no point to continue his life and leaped off the cliff and died in the lake. Since then, the lake that had taken 3 young lives was called Shaitan Kol, the Devil's Lake. The local legends are just as beautiful as the nature itself. During the climb to the lake, you can enjoy the amazing view of the cliffs with trees that grow along them, breathe in the fresh mountain air, and have a really good rest.
Вот под такими скальными навесами можно переждать непогоду.
You can wait for better weather whilst hiding under such rock sheds. Amazing creation of nature. This rock reaches out almost 4 meters and there are no supports. It is only supported by its foundation. The view of the lake is truly enchanting. It hides at the very top of the mountain and is surrounded by rocks. There is an opinion that the lake appeared in the crater of an old volcano, but this version is not proven as no one has ever studied this lake.
Фантастически красивая природа, очень живет.
Fantastic nature, beautiful landscape, but you know this place gets harmed only by one factor: humans. The tourists are not caring for the natural environment of this native land. For example, I have no idea why they covered all stones around with their writings. Today, Shaitan Kol attracts tourists and there are 2 paths to it. Several small waterfalls can be seen along the way from the Pashino Lake to Shaitan Kol Lake. The lake water is cold and clear. The Shaitan Kol Lake itself is very interesting and unusual, but there are not many people who would dare to swim in here.
Легенда гласит, Шайтан Коль не так-то просто найти, не каждому дано.
The legend says that it's not easy to find Shaitan Kol and not everyone can do it. Only those with a pure heart and a pure mind in their intent can discover the lake. Apparently, we managed to do it, and Shaitan Kol decided that our thoughts are pure enough to get here. Karkaralinsk is called the Pearl of Sararka, or the Switzerland of Kazakhstan, for a reason. The virgin beauty of the Karkaralinsk mountains and forests, dense vegetation of valleys, crystal clear lakes. Everyone who has visited this place at least once remembers it for a long time. Karkaralinsk is like a magic magnet, attracting tourists and athletes and everyone who loves Kazakhstan's nature.
Сосна, береза, воздух просто потрясающий.
A pine tree, birch, amazing air. You breathe with your chest full and it even starts to hurt. But when we saw the lake, it was unbelievable.
Хотелось бы, чтобы наши туристы, наши люди, которые приезжают отдыхать на природу, вели себя.
We would like for our tourists, our people, when they come here to be wiser, so that our nature could remain as it is right now. Some people who come here and write their names on the rocks using paint. It's unclear why they do this. It is much better when the nature remains virgin and people can enjoy its beauty, breathe in its fresh air, and gain some strength. We still have to take a look at other natural landmarks of Karkaralinsk, to take part in a helicopter sightseeing tour, and visit the ruins of an ancient castle, Kazakh. But this story is for another program.